Tonight's tactical enhancement is a traditional dunkel. Tonight we're playing Black Powder. No idea how many points it is. It's a scenario generated by Llew. So, talk us through what the hell is going on.
Okay, so this scenario tonight, gentlemen, is called the Crossroads at Llew, February 1814. The field is virtually all mud, and instead of having Russians, we now have the German contingent of Prussians trying to hold this crossroads, or the French are trying to get the crossroads from them so that they can stop the Prussian reserves coming through. So it's all mud. We have a maximum of 2 moves. We have young guard, a regular line, and the little Mary Louises
There's
here.
a young guard there, regular line and a massive cluster in the middle.
Yep.
And the Mary Louise, we think the princess is pretty, so we're going to fight for her on the French left.
That's right. And on the Russian left, we have the Jaegers.
Yep.
Some Lancers, or they're Cossacks, aren't they? Yes.
Well,
Lancers.
This was originally a Russian force, but we're doing the scenario with the Germans, so we've traded out some other units to make them the equivalent of late war Prussian. So we have Lancers and we have Dragoons over here, hiding behind a hill.
So, we're up to. So the battlefield is pretty well as it stands. Victory conditions. The game lasts 8 turns or until one side's army is broken. To get a French decisive victory, we have to have control of the crossroads and no Russians within 12 inches. And we have to hold the stone farmhouse. No Russians within 12 inches. Russian decisive victory, hold the crossroads and break 2 French brigades. Attack will draw, the French hold the crossroads, but the Russians still control the heights. Once per game, the Emperor is watching. The French player may re-roll a failed command test for any brigade commander. Represent the frantic energy of Napoleon's 1814 campaign. The Prussians have the stubborn rule. Once per game, the Prussians may choose 1 battalion to use the stubborn rule, which is going to be an auto pass.
Now, do we declare which unit that is in advance?
Yes. No.
At the time. Okay.
At the time.
So if you're getting close to breaking or shaking, you go use it.
Alrighty.
So with the stats which we've written down, these reflect the specific historical realities of 1814. The French are desperate and relying on raw recruits and Mary Louises.
These ones?
Paired with the elite veterans, whilst the Russians are solid, the Prussians are solid, stubborn and specialised. And the French will be taking the first turn as the attackers.
Yeah. So in the Russian version of things, these would be line, but we're taking them as landwehr, and these would be grenadier, but we're taking them as line because that's basically how the Prussian army book is built. You've got to take the proportions aren't quite right, but it balances out for the scenario. Although that lot over there are Jaegers, and we're taking Lancers instead of the Cossacks or something.
Yeah. Which is actually better for us.
So trade-off of more powerful cavalry in exchange for slightly weaker infantry.
Yeah.
Now, so that's that, and I believe the French get the first turn. Is that right?
The attacker, correct.
Okay. I'll just note we've deployed right up against the line everywhere, but of course those woods are more of a pain in the arse to move through than they're worth. So what we'll do is we'll do the French turn 1, and we'll check in after that. And the French turn 1.
Have you watched
And they've advanced. They advanced 1 move
fucking good.
and changed their formation into line.
I love
This is the Mary Louises. These guys moved up.
Captivated.
They tried to move up the cavalry, they didn't make it. The guns fired at long range, my cannons on the hill, and missed. And there was some other light fire from those cannons at the cavalry who missed. So that was that. We're now going into Prussian turn 1. We'll check in after that. End of Prussian turn 1, some mixed results. We tried to charge up here, but we only got one move. So we moved once and then shot. Took a wound off there, a wound and
We're
disorder
in front of you.
there. These guys tried to charge them, but didn't quite make it.
You can. I think you're going to have to.
But then we shot and disordered. They made their save.
Yeah.
The cannon had a shot at this unit.
We'll see what
They hit with 1 dice out of 2, but then he rolled a 6 to save, so that was annoying. And then,
you lose.
so Sean
They poke you a bit better.
sent his cavalry in, and what do your cavalry do? They make their charge?
Square,
So they can't move.
Alright,
It
so
does.
he turned the young guard into square.
pretty much.
That's useful. Formed up 1 unit of Jaegers to shoot, and the other 2 units of Jaegers. You can tell the Jaegers because they've got some Jaeger miniatures in the ranks, because we don't have that many pure Jaeger miniatures. The other unit of Jaegers advanced up the road. Didn't quite get into the charge, so we basically got moves of 1 for most of our things. But overall, I can't complain. At this point, we'll pause here and we'll check in at the end of French turn 2. Right, while we work out some of the finer points of the
Becomes
rules,
disordered, I mean,
French turn
two
2,
moves to. It's
all
really
these
just-
Mary Louises
Oh, no,
opened
nine.
fire. They did nothing to this unit. Nothing to this unit. This one, I think, did nothing. Then these guys shot and took 1 wound off of this unit. These guys here were in line. I think they formed into line this turn. Shot at them, took 1 wound off of the front unit. Then they shuffled a little bit and went, oh, we'll go this way a bit, we'll go that way a bit. And they gave themselves just enough room to shoot the cannon through the middle at the second unit, and they blasted 2 wounds off of that. Now, these cavalry charged one of the units of lancers, who got shot at on the way in because they had to run past this square in order to countercharge. Both players roared up a storm, but for some obscure reason, the dragoons made better armor saves against the lancers than the other way around. So the them's the dice. So the lancers took 3 wounds. Well, actually took 4 wounds, and then they fell back. And that drops down to 3 wounds at the end of the day, but basically they copped it. Whereas the dragoons took 2 wounds. So they actually are hurting. They can be damaged quite badly. So that's not bad. I think all things considered, that could have been a lot worse this turn.
Oh, it could have been a little worse. It could have run off the table. So I'm happy not
Yes. Now the Mary Louises have rolled. They don't have terrors. They got to roll the first time they're fighting melee or shoot to see if, as newly raised conscripts, they're particularly terrified or whatever the other thing is. They rolled, what, 5s and a 3, so...
The 3, the unit in the middle's in a bit of trouble.
Oh, they're not doing too well, eh?
No, they suffer from panic.
They suffer from panic. That's excellent. That's exactly what we need.
For this turn only, all shots and hand-to-hand attacks need 6s to hit.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks for letting me know that. I was going to charge the unit on the flank, but actually I think I'll go for these bastards. On that note, it's over to the Prussians. End of Prussian turn 2.
Wasn't terrible.
Now, over there,
turn 3.
these cavalry, lancers came running around the back, which is what we like to do with lancers. There was some shooting from the line into one of the squares. It did quite a bit of damage. Sean took the general and took a casualty off of this unit of lancers, the one that got bashed up by the French last turn. Now, there was a charge and impulse there, a charge and impulse here, a charge and impulse there, and a charge and impulse there. And you might have noticed there's nothing there for the French anymore. The funny thing is, this unit had rolled so badly that they were panicked for 1 turn, but then they rolled up a storm and I rolled crap and we held. It was a tie. Whereas I went up against a fresh unit in good order there and beat it up so badly it ran off the table. So we've reformed there, ready to counter into the line next turn, assuming that it hasn't chuffed off in one direction or another first. Now, in order to make this a tie, Llew used the support from this unit, which meant that when this fight happened, this French unit could not get support from this unit. Now, I did 2 wounds to them, they did 1 to me, so in order to make that a tie, because I had a support, and there's that unit there for support. The French used this unit for support, which meant they couldn't use it to support this unit. which is good because Sean rolled like crap. Dave rolled alright for the French, but obviously the Prussians had 1 unit in support, whereas the French had no support left because they'd already applied it, and we made a tie out of it. Now there's a couple of units that have taken a lot of casualties. This unit here, for example, is shaken. It's on 3 dead, and this unit's now on 3 dead, but we've held. So it's pretty good, actually. I mean, we could still fuck it up with both hands, but at this point we can't complain. Anything else, gentlemen? Anything else exciting happened this turn that I missed? Oh, we shot at those pricks with artillery. That was fun. Anything else?
No. It could go either way for me.
Lovely.
I think so too.
All right, on that note, over to the French for turn 3. End of turn 3 for the French. Now, we beat these guys last time. In this fight here, we got a tie, I think, by virtue of these guys providing support. But we did beat them on wounds. And I had extra supports. I think that's how it happened. Anyway, in the fight here, these guys lost, but they rolled just well enough to still be here. They fell back onto the hill in order to not disrupt them. These guys then changed formation to line because they're fully expecting these guys to charge them in the teeth. There's some manoeuvring to do with those guys, those lancers who come around the back, mostly cannon fire, some sporadic shots from the squares. Now, we do have a situation where we had to expend one of our auto morale tests because this unit here was in danger of being shaken. It's actually a bit rough there at the moment, I have to say. We're actually in danger of losing the Jaeger battalion because 2 of those units are, well, one's shaken, the other one's in danger of becoming shaken. But then because Dave was using up all of the units he could to support his combat in order to push these guys back, it left this unit in line unsupported, and Dave's dice gave out on him, and they had to roll just to stick around. So it's a very even fight. Yeah, I think we'll probably crack through, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll check in at the end of Prussian turn 3 and see how it looks. End of Prussian turn 3. Now we've got the flank charge, hit these guys, they rolled very well, we smashed them, but they rolled very well, so they didn't fuck off the table completely, but this brigade is now broken. These guys are broken, the other unit was destroyed, these guys are not looking too flush. Both they and they are going to fall back, so I don't need to worry about them.
At the door. Okay.
Now, we reformed this line,
Maybe not.
ready to advance onto the flank of the French. Now we do have to keep the French out of this building, that's not too hard. The only real problem we got is this cannon.
Don't know what he did with
Now I reformed these guys into line for 2 reasons. One was to shoot the infantry that were in front of them that were a bit wounded after being in a fight with them. And I pushed them over and they fell back. They haven't fucked off, but they had to fall back. So that's good.
You send them up.
Without telling, just coming.
Then what happened? We put a few rounds into these guys, but didn't do anything much. But they will fall back next turn because they have to. Now over here, Sean bashed up the unit in front, didn't destroy them, but they had to fall back over this unit and over this unit and over this unit. So they're now here. So all these units here, all these French units are disordered. The only ones that are not are the cannon and the cavalry, I suppose. But even then, the infantry over there are in square. So we're copying damage, but we're dishing out damage as well. It could go either way. And I think you were using the general to take wounds off of this unit here.
Yeah, I was up to 2. We use that special rule to not take the last one. So we're down to 1 wound out of 3, so it's good.
Yeah.
I got a bit of leeway. But
They'll probably try and blast this unit as much as they can in order to try and force your brigade to withdraw.
I might have to shoot this because this is a clear target. That's not.
That's a good point. So from the cannons, yeah, you've got obstructed targets. Both of them are obstructed. Excellent. Oh, we have reinforcements in General Chris.
He's doing your trick.
Right. Oh, and the lancers fell back a little bit to get away from the enemy cannon and the cavalry. So Sean's manoeuvring rather effectively, actually.
could have charged here.
There's quite a lot of the French army being occupied over there with all the manoeuvring when the actual objective is this here and that there. And we definitely have ourselves a hill. So we're doing all right, but this game could really go anywhere. It was on the margin a moment ago. I reckon it's 55% our way, 45 the French, but they could switch in a couple of dice rolls. So we'll check in at the end of turn 4 French. End of French turn 4, and it's getting interesting. Let's see. These cavalry here actually charged from there into the flank of one of the Jaeger units, which had been engaged in the biff with these guys. Because when we moved up to take their ground, we didn't realise it changed the facing that these guys were going to be running into. So they crashed into the flank of a bashed up Jaeger unit and did pretty much what you'd expect. Destroyed them, galloped on through right into these guys who neither have time to stand and shoot nor form square. Otherwise, let's see, these guys fell back and very conveniently got in the way of the cannon, so they didn't shoot. And the other unit that had been here and falling back clipped the edge of the table by a couple of inches and chuffed off. Now, so we've got a situation now where one unit of Jaegers is gone, the other unit has got, how many wounds in that unit now?
This has got back to 2,
Back
so it's
to
not
2.
shaken.
Yep, and then we got the other one there that's fine.
It's on 1, it's got 1 wound.
Taken 1, yep.
Because he keeps, yeah.
The light cavalry are pretty shot up, but they don't care. Whereas these guys are still in square. Those cavalry are one off of being shaken, which is interesting because that means the light cav will chuff off when the heavy cav do. Then these guys are on 3, so they're shaken. And some of these other units have got some. Did have some damage on them. I think this unit here's got some damage on it. They might be shaken as well. So both the ones in line are shaken. That means if we shake one of these, then we may have cracked the centre as well. But they might crack our centre. I've got to try and get some flank charges in. Alright, amendments. So what we realised was that these cavalry, when they'd hit this unit and crash through and run into my infantry line, that combat happens immediately, which we very nearly forgot. We did the combat. These guys got smashed in terms of, because they couldn't stand and shoot, they couldn't form square, there's no reaction at all, so they just got skewered. And there's some disadvantages in our house rules for being charged in the face by cavalry. But we did inflict 3 wounds on them, which shook those cavalry.
And they fucked off.
So what that means is, we both rolled well enough to stick around, but not so well as to stay in place. Both sides bounced off. But what that means is that these infantry are both shaken, and the cannon are attached to them. So that's just one small brigade that's going to go and take my cannon with it. On the other hand, the cavalry were the heavy cab component of a cavalry brigade, and as they fuck off, the light cavalry are going to go as well, which is exactly the reason why I was hiding my heavy cavalry back here. So we've just gone brigade for brigade, basically. Cavalry brigade for a small infantry and artillery brigade, which...
We've got to try and break...
Yes, we have to try and break one of these units.
3 wounds to... This is...
We've got to do something to one of these. I was hoping he's a cannon for that, actually, but that's not going to happen now.
No.
So we will check in at the end of Prussian turn 4 and see what we've managed to do. End of Prussian turn 4, and we're already moving the troops for turn 5 for the French, but the main action was I crashed into these guys in the flank and rolled pretty crap, I have to say. I got 3 hits out of 6 dice with 1 reroll. That did nothing to me, which is good, although I did get shot running past the retreating Mary Louise in order to charge these guys in the flank. So I ran right in front of them, copped a wound. So that means that I've got 2 units here which are on 2 wounds.
So we reckon...
And it's only a 3-strong battalion.
Yeah, because it's... Yeah, that's what you...
Or brigade, I should say. Now, Sean's been patching up this unit. Did you do anything with your shooting?
Yeah, I shook and the guard is shaken. One of the units is shaken. But I mean, you got to do it to 2 to make them run.
Yeah, okay.
Like...
So you're out shooting them by virtue of them being in square. It's not bad. The French will probably try and bash something up. But the good news is they can't do anything to this unit. That's the good news. The bad news is they might try and get an obstructed shot at this unit with the cannon. Yeah, that's going to hurt because that could push them over. Oh, the Mary Louise are going to keep shooting as they run away. Cheeky little
Are they
bastards.
shaking?
The Mary Louise are shaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it's
These
five.
aren't,
Two
but they
dice.
might be
But
short
we can
feet.
reroll.
The key thing is I need to whack them without getting shaken myself
Well,
in the
yeah,
process,
oh,
which
yeah.
might not happen. It's looking pretty grim, I have to say. On that note, we'll check in at the end of French turn 5 now. End of French turn 5.
Yeah, it was.
Now,
Oh, they went first.
so the cavalry was falling back. There was some sporadic shooting from the squares and the cannon, and they actually blasted a unit of light cavalry and took them off the table. They did some shooting. For example, these guys formed line and shot at them. Now, this unit here, the commander tried to boost their morale and take a wound off, but failed,
Which is critical.
which is crucial. Now, these guys fell back and shot at these poor chaps, and then these cannons blasted them at point blank range, so they're shaken. Fortunately, they're not, and these guys are untouched. So the Landwehr are just hanging on.
By a thread.
In the melee, by some miracle,
Same here.
the flanked infantry with their 3 dice didn't do any
Very
hits
close.
again. That's 2 turns in a row, whereas I did a bunch on them and they went over. That broke the brigade. Because this unit, and this unit have 3 or more casualties. It's only that one that's in good order. And that was crucial because if these guys had saved, it would have only been 2, and that brigade would have stuck around. That's how close it was.
And then you don't know.
And
what's
then
gonna
if they'd
happen.
done 1 wound on these, then the
testing.
Landwehr would have been falling back because that brigade would have been broken, which would have left a bashed up unit of Jaegers and the cavalry.
Yeah, and I can't assault because if he does 2 wounds to me, and when I charge in,
Yes.
I'm
You
broken.
would have to form line and shoot,
Oh, yeah.
try and wear them down. So this game is so razor fine on a dice here, a dice there. It's an incredibly close game, but as it is, the French have broken. The army is broken. 2 brigades out of 3, no,
2 games
3
in a row.
brigades out of 4 are gone, and that's it. That's game. We're not going to do the Prussian turn, even if the Landwehr cop it, which they might break. We still have 2 brigades which are just hanging on. What an incredibly close game.
That was very close.
That's 4 in a row.
4 close games in a row.
Super knife edge. The two bridge games.
The first one was stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, you blundered.
That was stupid.
It's worth noting I've only filmed 2 of them because we play a lot of games at different houses. So, gentlemen, what have we learned?
Don't put the old guard where they can be trapped by cavalry.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was interesting.
Yeah, but that blocked up that tied up that whole unit.
I was thinking, what
Well,
would
tied
you
up
do?
the
Yeah,
cavalry.
but I think you would have been better served having the old guard down.
It
the guards.
tied up 1 or 2 units of lancers and
Personally.
a unit of infantry to keep pegging at them, which is not a bad trade-off for guard.
There's only two battalions in that brigade. So my idea was to hold there and let these guys here do the sledgehammer, and they
Yep.
nearly got through
I think they're very.
They
unlucky
very
not
nearly
to.
did. Yeah.
because we're on the crossroads with a fresh unit.
Yep.
But these guys here are all really knocked around, so they're legging. The Mary
Yep.
Louise
And you bashed off my line unit and
Yeah.
the cannon support.
That was a very small
the
detachment.
Mary Louise is in the middle panicked, and they didn't hit anything. They didn't hit much all night, but they stayed around for as long as possible.
Well, they did damage.
Yeah, they did damage.
But you know what? The cavalry was occupying the other cavalry most of the night. There's only one time they went through and did something catastrophically nasty,
Yeah,
which did a huge amount of damage before they fucked off for their troubles.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
that was good fun.
That was fine. I just put him there so Lou could do that. You know,
I mean, I want to talk up the work of my Landwehr in bashing up a bunch of little boys and then running at the flank of the enemy. But I think actually Sean played a pretty masterful game with how he manoeuvred on this flank and kept it
I
going.
thank Lou for putting his troops in the position where I could do it. So, thanks, Lou. 'Cause I
Well,
couldn't have done it otherwise.
If they'd been compressed more to the middle, you would have had free reign to advance. It would have been just this big untactical
The
clusterfuck
idea
in the
is
centre.
you've got to put something here to threaten this flank, otherwise they just steamroll forwards.
But to
Yes.
try and steamroll with 2 young guard battalions against all that,
I think
there's only 2 battalions.
yeah, but you
That's
support
true.
it. You can
And-
still put 2 here and go with 2 and 2 and have these in the reserve. Have these guys here, cavalry.
It's not.
But of course, we'd come up with a cunning plan that would neuter that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, it's not strong enough. You needed the 4 here, but when that one broke and ran through it, just disordered
Actually,
Dave's whole front line.
I did notice that we had a lot of small brigades of this, and we started off strong, going, ha, we're knocking this, we're knocking that. And next thing you know, there's like, oh fuck, everything's in risk of breaking soon.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That's the thing. Everything is very small and breaks.
Yeah,
The difficulty is your big block of 4. You need to break because we do it with 3 out of 4 to break
Yeah.
it. It's very hard to break.
That is
Yeah.
tough.
And the Mary Louise are fairly good.
Yeah.
They,
Two out of
depends on
3,
your
knock
dice.
them off.
They're
Yeah.
very dicey.
yeah.
Would that make sense?
Yeah, and that's how they should be. They're raw recruits. But I think the scenarios, the generated scenarios, are working really well.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
And even though we've got guard with conscripts, you've got landwehr with some good fusiliers.
And the Jaegers are decent.
Three full units of Jaegers works well.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, but that could have happened.
Yeah. I've never fielded them in big blocks like that before.
Yeah.
What do you normally with these units of 4
I
or
usually
5?
take them as skirmishing units of like 2,
Yeah.
usually, tiny units.
But they can form up in column and attack just like line infantry.
Yeah,
If you
awesome.
need them to.
They did well.
Well, they did their job. They're
They shot.
the most resilient out of all the units tonight.
I probably took like 4 wounds off them, 4 or 5 wounds, because they took a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
at
yeah.
any one time, like I said, we almost broke the whole unit because I
Yeah.
had to use the stubborn.
That's right.
Otherwise, we would have lost
That
in round
special
2.
rule kept
Yeah.
them in the game, and was some other special rule we used earlier. What was it?
It was for the Emperor, which is a re-roll any failed command
Which you
test
did.
That's right.
once. in
They
a
got
turn,
your cavalry.
and we rallied.
They got your cavalry.
Yeah, we
Ah.
Otherwise,
rallied.
your cavalry would have been
Yeah.
would have been shaken going in.
So I think one off
That's right.
one off special rules are good, but not too powerful.
That's right. It's just enough flavour to. And they both influence the game.
Well, that made a big difference, I think.
Yeah, that's a great.
And
scenario.
that's what you want. You want little rules that just like, oh,
You can just
I'll
flick
break
it.
it.
Just flick it without doing too much damage.
I don't care. I mean, it's
It's great.
that was good.
Well,
Thank you, Lou.
on that night,
Pleasure.
thank you, gentlemen. That was a blast. If you're still watching, feel free to hit like, subscribe, etc. Help the algorithm along. Oh, and to really help the algorithm along, you'll see a little thing popping up with other examples of this sort of silliness. So if you've got a cackle out of our bashing heads, feel free to click on that and look at some more of it. For now, it's time to call it a night.